In 2 Nephi chapter 1, Lehi is begging and pleading with Laman and Lemuel to awake. In fact, he says no less than 4 times, I think, for them to awake. But he also says a few other things repetitively. Starting in verse 13, he says, "Awake, awake, and shake off the awful chains by which ye are bound." Then in verse 14 again he says, "Awake," and then he adds a new thing, "Arise from the dust." Then skip down to verse 21, and he says, "Arise from the dust." And then you go down to verse 23, and he says all 3 variations of the same thing that he had been saying. He says, "Awake, my sons, put on the armor of righteousness, shake off the chains with which ye are bound, and come forth out of obscurity and arise from the dust." So clearly Lehi had great anxiety for his sons to snap out of their natural man, and that's definitely something that we need to do as well. There's chains with which we are each bound that we allow to happen to us because we trust in the arm of the flesh more than our Savior. So how do you awake? Well, in verse 24, Lehi sums up the answer for all of us. He says, "Rebel no more against your brother, whose views have been glorious, and who hath kept the commandments from the time we left Jerusalem." So it's just, you stop rebelling. You start believing. Even the stuff that you find hard to believe, you choose to believe it, and you let your faith carry you through until you have a knowledge that it is true. And some things you may never find out just with your pure knowledge that it's true, and you just have to rely on faith. But you stop rebelling. You trust that you've had experiences which confirm to you that the gospel is true, and that that testimony can carry you through the things that you don't understand quite as well, until you do eventually understand them either in this life or the next. So that's how you awake and arise from the dust. You choose no more to rebel.